decided to make the live stream, do this review, talk about WWE Friday Night SmackDown. Then we'll talk about the preview and predictions. Then we'll talk about some of the podcasters and the YouTubers. We'll talk about some of the news and rumors in the wrestling world, the wrestling community. This is Jacob Cat 2024. Going to talk about a WWE SmackDown review. I'm sorry, I sure wrote prediction. This is a prediction video where we're going to predict the 5 matches on the cards for Sunday in Italy, at Clash in Italy 2026. So we will talk about the 5 matches, and then we'll talk about SmackDown review tonight. We'll go through the matches and the segment. We'll talk about what happened tonight on the Go Home show, and then maybe we will talk about the other pay-per-view, the Triple H show, with the man versus man with Grande Americano, with the other Grande Americano, Jack Gable and Ludwig Kaiser. Alright, so just want to say thank you for watching, thank you for all the support. Hit that like button, leave a comment, please subscribe to my channel, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, thank you for all the support. Enjoy my video. First we're going to talk about Friday Night SmackDown. Right now I'm trying to get through all the match cards here. Yeah, we got Carmelo Hayes. Had to do someone else because I don't have Ricky Saints on here. And then the main event was, I believe it was Chelsea Green and Nia Jax. Yeah, it was. That was the main event. And then what closed the show was Cody, Rhodes, and Gunther in a face-to-face. Alright. So these are the 5 matches on the show. These are the 5 matches on the show. Now we go into some of these matches here. SmackDown opened up with a segment with the women. Rhea Ripley, Charlotte, and Alexa. They came out to interrupt Jade Cargill in her fashion, along with Michin and B-Fab. They came out there and they changed some word and built up to their match on Sunday. I think we had a singles match with Jade Cargill and Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss Jade Cargill dropped Alexa Bliss. She won a clean victory. She's looking strong for her match with Rhea for the Women's Championship. We also had a backstage segment with Sami Zayn. He demands I know what that means. He demands what? An apology from Cody Rhodes. Man, they're clearly setting up Sami Zayn to turn heel on Cody Rhodes, if he will turn heel and be done with the babyface. But they're clearly setting that up. He might get involved during the pay-per-view, maybe after the match is over, and turn heel. We'll have to wait and see what happens. If he's gonna turn heel, I don't know when we're gonna see Randy Orton come back, but if Sami's gonna turn heel, what? Maybe he can win the King of the Ring. I don't know. But we got another segment with Danhausen. He sprays a fire extinguisher at the Miz, and well, we did get the Miz and Asium. He earns a hometown victory in Italy. He beat the Miz in a pretty good match, alright. We had a tag team match with the MFTs versus Royce Key and Damian Priest. The MFT got the victory. It double tongue pinned Priest after Royce Key got taken out by Solo and Tama Tonga. It was okay, man, but whatever. I don't know what they're doing with Royce Key and Solo to tell that story. We still got the MFT going after the tag team championship, because there was no tag division. Now we had a pretty good segment, with Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams, and Ricky Saint. The mid card is pretty interesting, just like on Raw, but on SmackDown is pretty interesting. I'm glad that we're seeing Carmelo Hayes trying to go after the U.S. title and Ricky Saints. So if we're doing something with them. Don't know who's the heel and who's the face. I'm pretty sure Ricky's the heel. Is Tricky heel or is he a face? I don't know. I'm kind of confused here. Maybe Carmelo's the baby face. Now Trick Williams is a heel even though he's over as hell. Everyone loves Trick Williams. Now we did get a match between Carmelo Hayes and Ricky Saints in a very good match. I forgot who won here. I think it was Carmelo that won. It was a very good match. I'm glad we're seeing Carmelo on TV more. We should be. Okay, what on WrestleMania? Ricky Saints, he just getting started. Now the match that main evented, besides the closing angle with Cody and Gunther, Chelsea Green versus Nia Jax. Chelsea Green got the victory. Thanks with Tiffany Stratton. He came out. He helped. Chelsea beat Nia Jax in a whatever match. I think that was so. So the first match was the woman with Jade and Alexa, and then the last match with Chelsea Green and Nia Jax. After the match was over, we got Cody Rhodes and Gunther in a face-to-face. That segment closed out the show. They went back and forth. They changed words. Pretty good. It was whatever. Hyping up that match that was main event Clash in Italy. Yeah. Yeah. So Gunther vowed to put down Cody Rhodes. So there's not much podcast besides certain people. Besides Joe Cronin, JD from New York, Salamoto Sound Off, Fightful Pro Wrestling, and other podcasters. My video is sponsored by PlayStation, sponsored by all my favorite YouTubers and podcasters. I will do more. While I'm still doing this review, I will play Call of Duty Black Ops 6. I will play that pretty soon. Might be tomorrow, hopefully, or Sunday. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I will play NBA 2K26 my career. I'll make more videos on that. The Worst Wrestling Show travels. I mean, SmackDown is the worst wrestling show of the year. It traveled to Spain. Still not that good. Alright, so I might want to show y'all some of the other podcasters. Might want to show y'all Salamoto. Salamoto Sound Off. Well, let me show him. Alright, well, can you guys hear Salamoto? Here we go.
The early reviews have returned. Thank God for my VPN. It's another international tour. It's going to be one of those months. WWE is going to be overseas, not the entire month of June, but they're going to be overseas for a bunch of different dates. So we're going to have some early reviews, and hopefully you guys are enjoying them as much as I am. Thank God for Barcelona. Those people, man, God bless them. God bless them. They did what they could. They really did. They did what they could to try to make this show. Without that crowd, it would have been basically...
Now, before I show Salamoto, now we do got the other 5 matches. We got Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fato for the World Heavyweight Championship inside a tribal combat match. That will open the show on the first hour for free on ESPN. Becky Lynch defending her Woman Intercontinental Championship against Soluka. And Brock Lesnar and Over Femi Part 2. This is a rematch. Now this is on the 1 hour for free on ESPN. Those are 3 matches. And then the other 2 matches, which is live on ESPN, where you have to pay. We are Jade Carter versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship. And like I said, Cody Rhodes versus Gunther for the WWE Championship. That's gonna main event the show. All 5 of these matches are rematches that we already seen. Reigns and Fato is a rematch from Backlash, and Becky and Soruka from Saturday Night Main Event. That was last week. And then Brock and Over rematch from WrestleMania. Jade and Rhea is a rematch from WrestleMania. Cody and Gunther is a rematch from, even though it's not really a rematch, but it kind of is because it's a rematch from their last match at Crown Jewels in 2024. That was like 2 years ago. Yeah, so those are the matches. We'll get to them in a minute. First I want to show y'all Salamander.
It would have felt like every other SmackDown that we've seen now over the last several weeks. I mean, look, when was the last time, honestly, I want you to really think hard about this. When was the last time that we saw a Damian Priest match on SmackDown that got the kind of reaction that his match got here on this show? It's been a while, especially a match against the MFPs, of all people. And even that match got a reaction. At least they were making noise on the show. So this was the go-home show to Clash in Italy, which is coming up on Sunday, which is also an early start. That's going to be 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And it's a show with 5 matches, 2 of which are now in some degree of jeopardy of potentially being, I don't know if canceled is the right word for it, or they may have to come up with a plan B. Tribal Combat being one of them, and the Women's Intercontinental title match with Becky Lynch and Sol Ruca being the other, because Sol Ruca may or may not be injured. Becky Lynch has been cutting promos on her on social media talking about her not being medically cleared. So apparently Sol Ruca, she will be there. She will be in Italy. She's either there or she's en route. But whether or not she has an actual injury, there was talk about that coming out of Saturday night's main event. On that botched Soul Snatcher spot, there might have been a leg injury. So we don't know 100% exactly what's going on there. Tribal Combat with Roman Reigns and Jacob Fato, that's a little dicier. Unfortunately, Jacob Fato was injured in a street fight with Solo Sikoa last night at the WWE live event in Liverpool. And there was a report earlier from Mike Johnson, a PW insider, because he was seen limping after the match. And so some people were just hoping maybe he was selling. Mike Johnson, a PW insider, earlier, he confirmed that there is an injury. He didn't say how serious it is. He goes that he was injured. That was not him just selling. And then I saw also Corey Hayes, formerly of BodySlam.net, now with the website False Finish, talking about it is a back injury, apparently. And WWE they're preparing in case they need to pivot, but they're not 100% sure that he won't be able to go. So again, 50-50, he may or may not be okay, but apparently it's a back injury of some kind. I mean, unless the man can't stand up on his own 2 feet. Knowing Jacob Fato, I'm sure he will do everything in his power to be in that main event. This is the biggest match of his career coming up on Sunday. It would have to be a pretty terrible injury for him not to be in that Tribal Combat match. So we'll have to just monitor that, see if there's any news that develops tomorrow. Why was he working against Solo to begin with? Look, one of the few times they actually do live events is when they go on these international tours. I know they're having a summer tour this summer here in domestically, but typically the only time these days that they even do live events is when they're over in Europe or they're touring somewhere. So that's not really all that surprising. I agree with you though. Did he need to be in a street fight with Solo Sikoa? Probably not. But anyway, that's that status update on him. But this was the go-home show, and I will say one of the segments that I think, maybe the only segment, frankly, let me correct myself, the only segment on this show that really did what I thought was a good job on this go-home show of getting me more excited for a match that's on the card on Sunday was the closing segment. It was a face-to-face in the ring with Cody Rhodes and Gunther. I thought they did a good job of kind of going back and forth at each other and getting the anticipation raised for their WWE Championship match, which is opening the show, by the way. They are kicking off Clash in Italy, the first hour on ESPN. They're kicking off with a WWE title match. So I thought the closing segment
Oh, I guess they changed that. I didn't know that. Fatu got hurt in the house show. So maybe Roman Reigns and Fatu may close the show, and Cody and Gunther gonna open the show. So that's the reason why.
And I did a good job of that. I wish I could say the same for everything else on the show, but I can't. I'd be lying if I said I did. The only other SmackDown match that's on the card on Sunday is the Women's Championship match between Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill, and they didn't do anything on this show to get me any more or less excited to see that. So, as these final go-home shows are concerned, they didn't do a whole hell of a lot outside of the main event. It was a very missable show, as most SmackDowns are. They did have a couple of good matches. We'll go through what those were. But otherwise, a very missable, very paint-by-numbers, typical episode of SmackDown. With the exception of the crowd in Barcelona, which was great all night. But let's talk about it. This is your Friday night SmackDown review. It is Friday, May 29th, 2026. I am the Solemn Monster. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I know it's not our usual time, so not everybody is going to be with us. Some people are watching the show as we speak, because it just started 15 minutes ago on the USA Network. But for those of you who are with me, I welcome you. And please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button. Let's get those likes up. Super chats are open. I want to hear from you guys. We had a pretty unbelievable night on Wednesday. Not anything that I was anticipating. We had an explosion here on Wednesday night of support. So I thank you for that. But yeah, super chats are open. I'll be reading your messages here a little bit later on, so go ahead and get them on in. How do you sleep at night in that super? Not well. Not well. Even when I'm not sick. I don't sleep there. I don't get enough sleep. That's the problem. I don't know how many years off my life I'm shaving by not getting enough sleep, but it's very, very bad. You need to get a certain amount of shut-eye every night. You gotta recharge the batteries, you gotta get your REM sleep, all that stuff. I'm terrible at that. Spin the wheel. I'm usually pretty good at this though. Let's spin the wheel. Find out how many likes we need to do Be the Booker. Will there be a Be the Booker tonight? I don't know. It's gonna be up to you guys. 500. Yes. Alexander says a $500 super chat on Wednesday was insane. That was, but we go from $500 super chats to 500 likes. We're 174 right now. Asuka is not happy about that. We're going to try, though. As I'm doing the review, you guys hit the like button and we'll see how close we can get. 500 is the goal. So now you know. All right, let's get into this here. Jade Cargill, I mentioned she's going to be challenging for the WWE Women's Championship on Sunday. She opened the show tonight. Came out to the ring with Michin and B-Fab. Big heat for these three here in Barcelona. And she said that she was confused because the fans acted like she had something to prove, but she's one of one. Rhea Ripley ended up coming out to interrupt the party. She got the expected massive reaction. She reminded Jade that she beat her when it was just the two of them. And Jade said that B-Fab and Michin are with her because they want a piece of the power, whereas Rhea is with people who don't even like her. Cue Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, then we're fighting words. So Charlotte and Alexa came out, tons of Alexa chants, they were singing her name, I don't know what it was. Barcelona loved them some Alexa Bliss. Charlotte said that Jade has been in WWE for 5 minutes, but she acts like she's a Hall of Famer. She will be. She will be one day. She respects how far Jade has come, but she told her not to confuse her own hype for actual achievements. Alexa said that she's gone toe-to-toe with people in the ring and on the mic who are way better than Jade, and she warned her, don't make me embarrass you. So out comes Nick Aldis, the general manager, and he made a match between Jade and Alexa, which would come after this commercial break. And away we went. Outside of the hot crowd, very paint-by-numbers open to the show here. I don't know, I thought they would go with something a little more hype to get the fans going right at the beginning of the show, and then out walks Jade and Michin and B-Fab. I'm like, okay. Not the hot open I was expecting, but they did get a lot of heat. So we had Jade Cargill one-on-one with Alexa Bliss, and the fans were doing the ole 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 chants at one point to rally behind Alexa.
So then we got Dominic.
Bliss fan, I knew Bliss fan would chime in here. Do you think, Alexander, do you think Barcelona liked Alexa Bliss more than Bliss fan? No. No, I think that would be impossible. Bliss fan says Alexa is the greatest female on the mic. I don't know. I don't know if I would concur. She's good.
I like my phone.
Are we talking all time? What are we talking about here? Are we talking about today? Or are we talking about all time? So Bliss tried a leap into a Rana off the apron. Jade, though, caught her and held on, ended up powerbombing her onto the barricade, heading into a break. Alexa mounted a comeback later on, including a modified natural selection. She went for the Sister Abigail DDT. Jade, though, countered out of it. Michin and BFAT, they ended up brawling off outside with Charlotte and Rhea, which left these two alone. Alexa went for Twisted Bliss. She ate the knees, though, on the way down, and Cargill put her down with Jaded for the win. I mean, you couldn't expect this to go any other way with her having a championship match in 48 hours. But then when the match was over, Jade went and retrieved the chair from underneath the ring. She brought it inside, laid it down flat, and she delivered a second Jaded, this time onto a chair. Charlotte and Rhea then ran back out, a little late to the party, and Jade bailed at that point. Now, before I go on, I have to say this. I noticed when Alexa took this bump onto the chair, right? The chair was flat. She took it Jaded onto the chair. She put her hands out. Her face and head never came close to connecting with the chair, right? So that's how that spot played out. And I see people on social media giving her shit for it. Apparently she was taking a lot of heat for it on social media. And Alexa Bliss has taken her X, her Twitter profile, private. It's now locked. I guess because she was getting so much heat and so much shit from people on X that she decided to go private. And all I'm going to say about it is this. First of all, yeah, we know people are assholes on social media, right? We know this already. One thing to say, oh, you know, the spot didn't look good because of whatever, but like some of the stuff you see online is it's just inhumane. And I will also point out to you that in Alexa Bliss, this is a woman with a history of A, concussions, and B, broken noses. So if I were Alexa Bliss, I'd put my fucking hands out too if Jade Cargill was trying to slam me face down onto a chair. So, cut the bullshit. It's not that big of a deal. It didn't look good? No, it didn't look that good, but who cares? Doesn't mean that you go online and give the woman shit. I can only imagine some of the messages that she was getting. You know, at Lexi, that looked like shit. You need to learn how to work. Yeah, you need to learn how to not slobber all over yourself when you speak. Fucking demon. The match was fine. It was enhanced by the crowd. Crowd was super into this. They were super into Alexa. I've always said, like, we're going to get this match first. We have to get this match first before we get the eventual match with Jade and Charlotte, which they've teased and teased and teased, and we still haven't gotten it. So that's the big match. I know Bliss fan would disagree, but Alexa Bliss was always going to be a stepping stone in this story to get to the match that WWE sees as being the bigger match, which is Charlotte against Jade Cargill. The only question is, when do we get that match? So are we looking at a situation where the SummerSlam match is Rhea Ripley defending the WWE Women's Championship against Charlotte Flair? Or are they going to save the first Jade Cargill-Charlotte match, not for any titles, but they're going to save that for SummerSlam? Because that would be a big enough match on the undercard if they wanted to do that at SummerSlam. Then you just have to figure out who's challenging Rhea for the championship. Maybe someone like JC Jane goes on to win Queen of the Ring and she wrestles Rhea at SummerSlam, right? Fatal Influence has been getting a decent push since they've been called up. If Charlotte and Rhea is the destination, though, for SummerSlam, then that means Charlotte would have to win Queen of the Ring, because they did clarify tonight. They didn't do this on Monday. Monday they left it kind of vague. But they did clarify tonight on the show that the winners of the King and Queen of the Ring, as they did last year, would get a championship opportunity at SummerSlam. They didn't say at SummerSlam on Monday, so I was wondering if they were changing that. But now we know it's going to be at SummerSlam, so that's the only thing. You would have to have Charlotte go over and win I guess not, though. Not necessarily. That's not necessarily true. See, I'm just thinking of things in terms of SmackDown right now because the Raw Women's Division is just completely fucked. And they don't have anybody obvious outside of Stephanie Vicaire on tap for Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan's basically been a manager for the last month. But I suppose if somebody from the Raw side were to win Queen of the Ring, then they could pretty much do whatever they want on the SmackDown side. So that's not entirely true. But I would say that Charlotte Flair probably is a pretty good candidate to win Queen of the Ring this year. And don't forget also, I forgot to mention, there is a Saturday night's main event coming up in July that's at Madison Square Garden. They could always do a Charlotte Jade match on that show. That would be a big show to do it on also. But as far as the rest of this, again, this was fine with a crowd that made it that much better. So after this, we had Cody Rhodes backstage, and he was being interviewed about his match coming up on Sunday with Gunther. When Sami Zayn interrupted, and Sami wanted an apology, demanded an apology for Cody sticking him with the crossroads in their match last week on SmackDown because he felt like that was a knife in his back. He tried to help Cody after Gunther interfered in their match, and Cody, what does he do when Sami turns around? He sticks him with a crossroads. So Cody was in no mood to talk to this man. He's not a fan of Sami Zayn at the moment, and he brought up Sami walking away. The match was over. Gunther had him in the sleeper hold. And all Sami did was stand there and watch, and he opted to leave instead of help. He brought that up. Sami said it took everything he had not to help, because he's really a good guy. But he realized that the right thing to do was to leave Cody there so he could learn a lesson. Cody said, alright, well, once he finishes with Gunther, he hoped to be able to teach Sami a lesson. You know, Sami could teach Cody a lesson by costing him the WWE Championship on Sunday. A very real possibility that could very well happen. Elsewhere in the back, Nick Aldis told Danhausen. Yes, Danhausen was there. He got a big pop. As he does pretty much everywhere he goes. He told Danhausen that he was sorry that his science lab equipment could not come with them overseas. They couldn't clear it through customs. But he shouldn't be conducting more experiments after last week. Danhausen asked Aldis, well, what do you want me to do? Aldis said he wanted him to appear in front of the crowd that has, he's paid real human money to go in front of. Danhausen looked like he had some great idea. He ran off, and the Miz walked in. The Miz is conversing with Nick Aldis, and as this is happening, Danhausen is collecting various items in the background for something. The Miz complained about the liquid limit and customs preventing Kip Wilson from making it into the country because he had too much moisturizer. The Miz wanted Aldis to postpone his match tonight. Aldis didn't buy it. He told Miz, you're up next. And in fact, up next it was The Miz, one-on-one with Axiom in his home country of Spain, which is the only reason that we saw Axiom here on this show. This is why they took Axiom off the shelf, and they blew the dust off, right? Got Toy Story 5 is coming out in a few weeks, right? All the old toys you gotta take off the shelf and dust them off. That's what WWE did with Axiom tonight. Let's dust them off. We'll let him come out and play for 1 week. So he got his match here with The Miz. So the lights flickered on and off at different points here during this match. Joe Tessitore was blaming it on the 93-degree heat in Spain, the fact that they've had rolling blackouts. So it must be that. It must be the heat. Oh, maybe it's Gunther. Always good to have a Gunther appearance here on the stream. Yes, BD from BD187. $50 Gunther bomb. Thank you for all you do, Solo, and a big thank you for watching these shows so I don't have to. That's the reason why I do it. I do it so you don't have to.
I don't think it's
You're
more about
welcome.
Undertaker. Now, for the woman, it's different because it means a lot for the women's
Piece of me
wrestling to
died there.
have
Have
a
you
woman
seen
in the
SmackDown
field.
over the last few months? Why would you want to watch this show? Right? But you got to keep up with what's going on here, right? You're still a wrestling fan. You
Well,
still
he
want
had
to watch
mixed matches at
WWE.
WrestleMania.
Generally, you
We
want to
couldn't
know
see her next
generally
year.
what's
She's
going on, but
probably
you
going to
just
be
can't
still had a
stomach
couple
sitting
months
there for
pregnant.
3 hours of SmackDown every week.
She'll
That's why
probably
you
have
have
a
me.
baby by the end of the year. Maybe
Thank you, baby.
after SummerSlam, maybe by the end of the year.
Anyway, all this light
If we can
flickering,
get
Joe
that UFC
Tessitore
next
thought
year,
he's
that's
blaming
fine.
it on this, that, and the other. And Wade Barrett
The
insinuated,
original
no, it has to
storyline
do with
isn't
Dan
Paul
Housen.
Sullivan. Or we can have
The
Bianca
crowd was hot for
rehab having
Axiom, as you would
title
expect.
defense
Miz
at
went for a skull-crushing finale that got
Or maybe
countered.
before now. He
Miz
can be
caught him
now.
anyway with a DDT
He
for a
still
near
can't
fall.
talk to him.
Later on, Miz landed a powerbomb headed to the top rope.
Apparently
And
some
the
people
lights
not
went out
counting
again.
that.
They came back on, they went out, they came back on. This distracted Miz long enough to allow Axiom to bring him down with an avalanche Spanish fly. And followed that with the golden ratio for the win. Good stuff here. Good stuff here. I thought they had a good match. It was nice to see Axiom get a win, even if it's the only one that he will be getting this year. It was still nice to see.
Well, Bianca been out for over a year because he had a dislocated finger. Because he got
Julia
eliminated. He
in
had a
Italy. Well, they
dislocated
weren't in
finger.
Italy tonight.
She's had
No, she is not on the
surgery, so
Clash
she
in
can
Italy
get
card
cleared.
on Sunday.
And she also got pregnant.
However, I would
Bianca
have
gonna
to
have a baby.
expect
This is
that they will
Bianca's
find a
first
place
child.
for her on the show next week. SmackDown is in Italy next week.
Well, she was out
Now, if
for
they
over a
leave
year.
her
We
off
don't know
SmackDown
what
next
happened
week,
to her.
if they, in 3 hours of SmackDown next Friday, if they cannot find something for Julia, who is part Italian, to do on that show,
Bianca and I, we share the same contract because we're married.
I don't know that she's going to have a major role, but yes, I would expect that she would be on SmackDown next week. If she's not on that show, that's completely fucked.
We both share the same contract. We're married.
So Damian Priest
Bianca
and R-Truth, they were in the back. Truth evidently is still not cleared. He has athletic tape on his shoulder. I'm assuming it's some sort of real injury and he's, legitimately not cleared because he hasn't wrestled in weeks. But they're in the back, and Truth, because he is not medically cleared, tells Priest that he has found a partner for him tonight. And Royce Keys walks in. Now, Priest was not happy about this. He goes, if I'm going to team with anybody, you and me are the tag team champions. It's going to be you. But he also doesn't like Royce Keys. He doesn't trust him. He thinks he's in cahoots with the Mifits, the MFTs. And he asked him, so he doesn't trust him. So Truth asked Priest, are you afraid of the MFTs? He goes, no. He goes, are you afraid of Royce Keys? It's the amazing Gunther. Oh my. Jerry Lawler loves Gunther and the Magnificent. All hail Gunther. Can't be afraid of that. Can't be afraid of that at all. Mr. AJ Allday dropping another $50 Gunther bomb. Look at this guy. Had to donate twice because I don't donate often, but when I do, I donate to the Solid Monster. Thank you again for all you do. Well, AJ, thank you. Thank you for doing what you do. All hail the mighty Gunther. He's getting some play tonight. We're going to wear this guy out. It's okay. We haven't seen him too much lately. It's okay. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. The Truth was basically like, look, you're not afraid of the MFTs. You're not afraid of him, right? Well, then you two guys are going to team. That's it. And then off he went. And Priest chased after him at that point. So that match was coming up a little bit later on in the show. Elsewhere, Sami Zayn was venting to Candice LeRae and said, I feel like you're one of the few people who gets me. And Candice was very touched by this. She thought that he was talking to her. And he said, no, actually I was talking about him. And the camera panned out, and we see Johnny Gargano laying flat on the dirty floor. He was basically next to a staircase. They were level. Their faces were level. It's not like he was literally looking down at him on the floor. But he's laying on the fucking floor, on the fucking staircase. This is what they flew this man out to Italy to do, by the way. I want somebody to look up the results of some of the recent live events this week. I don't know if last night was the first one they did, if they've had a few nights. Is Johnny Gargano at least wrestling on the live events? Or is this literally the only thing they flew him out to Italy to do? Is to lay on the floor, on the dirty floor, in a catatonic state. This may be the only thing this man does. Flew all the way to Italy. How long of a flight is that, I wonder, from New York? It's got to be, what, 8 hours? Probably something like that? Ridiculous. Matt Cardona showed up in the middle of this and said, things aren't going my way either, but at least I'm not talking to a corpse. And he almost called Sammy a name. He stopped short. This triggered Sammy. It set him off. He goes, I can't tolerate the disrespect any longer. He challenged Cardona to a match tonight, and Cardona said he was going to go talk to Nick Aldis about it. It's honest work. Hey, look, if laying on the floor is going to net him an easy paycheck, then more power to him. I just can't believe that he's flying literally all over the world to lay on the floor and just stare into space. But he's probably getting paid pretty good, so hey, good for him. Only a matter of time before we get a DIY reunion. You know it's coming. I don't know how much time he's got left on his contract, but it's only a matter of time. Backstage, Charlotte was assisting Alexa Bliss with an ice pack, and then she walked over and confronted or ran into Rhea Ripley. Charlotte made it very clear to Rhea that if Rhea doesn't take care of Jade at Clash in Italy, then she will. She said Jade's got a receipt coming. We had Damian Priest and Royce Keys against Tama Tonga and Tala Tonga, the brothers of the Mythics. Lillian Garcia, this was the funniest moment of the entire show. As Damian Priest was making his way out to the ring, Lillian Garcia called him Damon Priest. So that is officially his new name now. He is officially Damon Priest. This got more heat than any Damian Priest or MFT's match that we've seen in at least 6 months. As I said at the beginning, God bless the crowd in Barcelona. They were more into this than probably, I would say, the last 2 months of audiences combined when it comes to anything that any of these men have been doing. And I've also realized, I've come to the realization, not that I didn't kind of know this already, but it really hit me tonight. Whenever Damian Priest comes out, this is one of the problems here with Damian Priest. It's not his fault. His music absolutely fucking sucks. His music is, when they hit his music is such a fucking buzzkill when they hit it. It is awful. And that is part of the problem. I think when he comes out, like, you hear it, and it's almost, you know, the feeling I get, if you remember when the Big Boss Man came back in the late 90s, he was a heel, and he had that heel theme, and, like, people would groan when they would hear the beginnings of that theme. I kind of get that same reaction now when I hear Damian Priest. I sort of groan. And I would say that they need to get him better music, but we know that Death Rebel is still in charge of the music, and so if they gave him a new theme song, it would only be worse. Because we always say, well, it can't be any worse than this, and then somehow they find a way to make it worse. So I don't know what the solution is here. I really don't. But his music is trash, and that doesn't help. After a break, Tala Tonga and Royce Keys were going at it. He had Keys trapped in the always exciting rest hold. Keys fought out into a sit-down powerbomb on Tama Tonga, and then Priest made the tag in. He ran wild. He dropped Tama with a flatliner. Solo Sikoa got up on the apron. He delivered a Samoan spike. Damian Priest behind the referee's back, which brought out R-Truth to brawl with Solo, who was about to give Truth the spike until Keys came over, put a stop to it. Then Keys got knocked down from behind. Meanwhile, back inside, Tala Tonga gives Damian Priest a big old choke slam, and he pins him to win it for the Mythics. It's a fine little story they're trying to tell here with Damian Priest and Royce Keys. Priest doesn't trust him. Keys doesn't have any love for him. I don't know where this is going to go. Probably a match, but wherever it leads. As a story with those two, it's fine. The problem is this is all tied into the MFT stuff, and I don't give a shit. Like, I just cannot bring myself to care about any of this. So it kind of rubs off on these two guys. Like, when I first saw Royce Keys and Solo Sikoa associating on TV. I was
But
like,
what the fuck was Ronda Rousey doing with the fucking
because
title?
now, you know, he's going to be involved with the
She was a
MFT
baby
for at least
face.
a few
No
months,
one
and it's
cared.
like,
It was actually fucking boring. Then they turned the heel. I don't think we still care.
I don't know. We go backstage. Miz
Well,
is
there's no reason
threatening
for
to
NXT
sue
only
Nick
champion
Aldis
title because there's no fucking division. I don't know why they even
because
made it.
a lot has
They made
happened to
one
the Miz
NXT title for
over the
what?
last
There was
several
no
weeks.
reason
You
to. There's
mentioned
no
being
fucking
nearly
division.
blown up by the
There's
pyro
no
a few
need
weeks
for
ago.
NXT Women's
Now the
Champion
lights are
Championship.
flickering off
There's
and
no
on.
division
How
in
is he
NXT.
supposed to wrestle?
There is no anymore.
So Aldis agreed, and he said he would look into this. Miz said, though, we both know who's behind this. And they came upon Danhausen in a makeshift science lab. I guess this is what he was collecting all of that one-on-one. So, 27 one-on-one against Matt Cardona. Cardona had control ahead of a commercial break. Coming out of the ring, a king of the entrance? Sure. A king on the mic? Absolutely. But king of the ring? Not a chance. He said once he took care of Ricky Saints tonight, he was going to finish what he started with Trick last week. So Ricky got dropped by a reverse. This on USA, you won't see this. Gunther a liar? Because every kid grows up wanting to be the champion and not wanting the attention, right? That the third-party appearances, the talk shows, the fans singing every single word of your theme song, you don't want that. He knows Gunther wants it because otherwise he'd be talking to a 330-pound version of himself right now at an indie show.
One reason why they made
He held up the title and he said, "This is addictive."
Well, that time was that time was only made. It was for
Clash
comedy.
in Italy, Gunther is going to get this close to finding out all that attention that you desperately seek. But you're going to find out you're not that good. And then he hit him with his "I'm easy to find, hard to beat," which I just every time he says that line, I just cringe a little bit. He's really going all in on that catchphrase.
I don't know why you just put this on.
I'm easy to find. Again, it sounds like some sort of like straight-to-video old Steven Seagal movie from the 90s.
They don't have no good shit.
He's easy to find, but he's hard to beat. Rated R. They hit him with the line. Cody went to go leave. Gunther spun him around. We got the tight shot, face-to-face here with these two. Nose to nose. Gunther asked him, "You think I'm a liar?" He promised Bill Goldberg that he would choke him out, and he did. And that got no reaction. I mentioned that because he then said, "I promised that AJ Styles would get choked out." And he was. And that the people booed. As soon as he mentioned AJ Styles and what he had done to AJ, the people didn't like that very much. And they booed. And then they booed louder when he said that he promised Cody's big role model and hero that he would make him tap out. And he did. And now he's promising Cody that on Sunday he's going to choke him out and he's going to drop him like a wet towel. He's going to take his prep. It could affect what he is and is not able to do at theaters. Yes. I don't know when I'm... Buy or sell. I guess I'll get to kill Tuesday. How about... It skips past all of the odds by the time it's already aired, so that made for a nicer viewing experience for me. Yeah, I do love the option, you know. Introducing Mike's Lemons, handpicked to bring you the skills on the show. What is going on, guys? Thank you so much. Today, you go live when covering Friday Night SmackDown. The interest levels are sub-zero. Nobody gives a shit. Everything on the show from top to bottom, outside of Trick Williams, Sami Zayn, Carmelo Hayes, and tonight Ricky Saints, blows dick. I don't know what else you want me to say. It's the worst pro wrestling show on the fucking planet right now. A lifeless, soulless vacuum of slop and absolutely nothing. You know, I heard from people on social media today during the afternoon, "Oh, well, this SmackDown was really good, man. I had a good time with this, man. A good time
Tonga and Tamatonga. A good time with what? Axiom and Miz? With Danhausen fucking with the lights? With what? Nia Jax in the main event? What did we actually have a good time with, Chad? This was your typical Friday night fucking slop with a hot Barcelona crowd who's starved for pro wrestling, and they'll fucking cheer anything. I could have been in the middle of the ring and took a steaming wet dump, and they would have cheered me with a chant of, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. Oh, God. Oh, my God. This show sucks! This show is terrible! Terrible, man. I don't know what else to tell you, man. This show's terrible. Sunday we got Clash in Italy. Trash in Italy. I'm being told by my producer guy, it's trash in Italy. Oh. Well, what makes it trash? Get any updates? Oh, we got Cody. Cody's in the first hour, apparently. Oh, Jade Cargill's on the show. Well, I mean, you can't spell trash without Jade. Jacob Fato may be injured. Oh, man. What happened there? Chad, I'm hearing WWE put him in a street fight with Solo Sikoa the night before. It's par for the course with this administration. They put him in a street fight against Solo Sikoa, you say? Man, if you spent money to be there in that venue to watch that main event, man, you're a fucking idiot.
Government has responded. This is...
You're better off giving me the fucking money so I can buy a new PC. Wow.
Misty, good
So
morning to you.
it's trash in Italy now, is what I'm hearing. Oh, okay. Well, today we had Slackdown in Barcelona. Or Bore Down in Barcelona, whichever you prefer. I don't know.
Will go first, but this means the federal...
Chat, nothing happened on this show. Outside of all the jokes and the innuendos, there's nothing that happened on this show. If you missed this show, you could have legitimately, I would have shaken your hand and sent you on your way to do legitimately anything else. You had a date tonight? Bro, get to third base at least. Do something, man. Enjoy your night. Going to a bar, order the fucking most expensive drink on the menu and get trashed within the first hour. And while you're at it, order yourself a nice plate of peanuts and cheeses and charcuterie, please. I love that, man. It's right up my alley. Little pita breads, those little dill pickles they serve you, man. Oh man! Just put me in one of them fucking fancy cocktail places, man. I'm right where I belong. You want to go for an evening jog? You want to go walk the dog? You want to take the trash out and make it 3 hours long? I don't know who accumulates 3 hours of trash in one single night. I could probably pinpoint you, if you line them up in a police line, what those people look like. Half of them are the IWC. You want to go chat it up with your neighbor? Howdy, neighbor.
All-Star Legal Panel.
Want to do some online shopping? You want to go take a cold shower for 3 hours? Maybe hop on Destiny 2, being that it's going away on June 9th, and just kind of reminisce of old times. You want to jump on 007 James Bond that I got criticized for because I wouldn't spend $70 on a 12-hour campaign? Those people can fucking fuck off for all I care. Legitimately, anything else, man. Anything else. You want to build a Lego? I got plenty of them. I haven't built, I got like fucking 40 Legos downstairs, still unopened, man. Come on over. We'll just build Legos for 3 hours. Literally anything, man. I would shake your hand and send you on your way. Anything that this world provides is a better option than watching this show for 3 hours. Anything. Anything. Cody Rhodes and Gunther in the final segment of the night. WWE has this fetish where they love ending their shows with a talking segment or a contract signing or a Samoan going through a table. Good. It was good. I love when Gunther gets animated and Gunther gets riled up. He's very entertaining, man. He's got a natural charisma to him. And he's funny. Cody Rhodes, I mean, what's with Cody Rhodes' new phrase? What is it? What is that? What is that? Bro, who told you that was good? Every time I hear you, what do you want to talk about? I still get douche chills. Now you got this? Bro, you're not playing Guile in real life, alright? It's like he's taking his Street Fighter persona in the new movie coming out. He's applying it to his pro wrestling gimmick now. Fucking ridiculous. Bro, you've been saying it for like 6 weeks now. It's not over. This show is easy to find. I wish it was as easy to delete. Good segment. I don't know what exactly it did to get me more excited about their match that's opening the show on Sunday because Roman's got to close. You know, Roman with the secondary title closing Clash in Italy while Cody's holding the priority title in Cody. Yeah, that's backwards now. So glad that Cody's the WWE champion and now the number 2 champion is Cody. Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley had some words. Alexa Bliss tried to put Jade Cargill in her place, and we had to endure a 12-minute match between the two. Axiom. They booked Axiom, chat, on the show. Does anybody know why they booked Axiom on the show and basically forgot about Nathan Frazier and Axiom for the rest of the year? Up until this point? Anybody? Producer man's telling me, he's from Spain. Yeah, we'll go to Spain, pal. That'll be your one match for the year. We'll see you in about 28 weeks. That'll be around the time of the Royal Rumble, right? Miz is still on the show. Danhausen is still conducting experiments on the show. Poor Baron Corbin, my God, Bishop Dyer, man, coming back to the company reportedly to be unveiled as the zombie on the surgeon's table for Danhausen. Bro, this show sucks. MFTs, can't forget MFTs. Sami Zayn and Matt Cardona had a decent match. Carmelo Hayes and Ricky Sainz had a decent match. But I mean, that's like 25 minutes out of a 3-hour show, man. We can't give that a thumbs up. It's like a half a thumbnail up. This show sucks. This show is fucking awful. In every sense of the word, this show is fucking awful. You know, I should be the richest man in the fucking community for covering this slot for everybody, so you don't have to watch. The show is so bad, nobody even wants to show up to the Friday night stream. Wednesday's so bad, nobody even wants to show up to the the Wednesday night stream. The only things that do anywhere close to being good on Monday night because it's Raw.
If people saying this is justified because it's hatred to the healthcare, that's the problem.
We're going to try our best. Have a good time tonight. So a Friday Night SmackDown post show right here on Off the Script for your May 29th, 2026.
Yeah, I think that they're going to want to keep this. My guess is this is going to be a New York trial.
Oh, you think the state will go first? You thought the feds would go first.
Well, they certainly
Sunday will be live for Clash in Italy.
all the rest. There's a lot of political.
I don't know how long the show's going to be. Probably run about 3 hours, 2 to 5.
So we'll see what happens. But I think
Probably be live around 6 o'clock. Gonna have to have an early dinner. Because when the show's over, or the stream is over, I don't want to be eating at 9 o'clock. So we'll be live on Sunday. Tomorrow night, I'll be watching Triple A. I'll be tweeting along with you guys, man. I'm really excited about this Grande Americano versus Grande Americano match versus match. I'll be tweeting along with you guys.
You know, everyone hates the healthcare, but that, you know, we could talk about how the
We have some great content on the channel, man. We were live on Monday. We were live on Tuesday twice with the coach on the behind screen for the month of May. We'll be looking up at your true champion. Jay Cargill then says, do you hear how stupid you sound? You really think this division revolves around you? Well, I mean, she is the champion. No, these women that you talk about, they're with me because they want a piece of power. And you're so damn weak. You're so weak that you're willing to work with women who don't even like you. So Charlotte and Alexa make their way out. Alexa Bliss, that is. Charlotte's out there. Okay, Jade, you're out here talking like you're a Hall of Famer or something. You've been here for what, 5 minutes? No, Jade. I respect how far you've come, but don't confuse our own hype for actual accomplishments. So B-Fab then says, wait, hold up. You got some nerve talking to the WWE future champion like that. Listen, Princess, if I wanted input from one of Jade's accessories, I'd ask. If Charlotte knows a thing or two about accessories. Bliss then speaks. And Jade, you keep talking about how you're the future, but you might want to make sure that future is accomplishing something before you start lecturing us. Now, I'll give you this. You do have the ego of a legend, but against us, you have the resume of a rookie. Bro.
Then you got people saying, oh, he's not a human being, he's a parasite.
Who wrote this?
Why in hell? I think that can be a problem.
Bro, I would be
Jerry's really going to be really challenging for the
if this wasn't written by an AI.
Because the more support, because Jerry's
Like,
not
listen to
supposed to be
this.
sympathetic with your
This
body
is
to
verbatim.
defend you, because that could change the jury and have you trial.
Now,
So I
Jade,
think
I'll
Jerry's
give you
not
this.
going to be
You
critical
have the
for
ego of a
prosecution.
legend, but
Because
against
the more
us, you
support
have the
that he
resume
gets, the
of a
more
rookie.
people condone his action, then the more difficult it's going to get by Jerry. Because the
Who
prosecutor,
speaks like this?
Jerry's not supposed to show sympathy or be biased towards his family, because that can be a problem.
Excuse me? Says Jade.
Well, if you have people supporting you,
You heard me,
murder, it doesn't
says
think he
Alexa.
should be convicted based on the
Jade
circumstances.
then calls
That's a
Alexa a
problem.
little girl.
Everyone
I'm
saw
not
this
gonna be
video,
talked
everyone saw
down
the manifesto,
by
but
somebody who
it's
Charlotte
justified.
flares right
If the
on.
jury knows the law and doesn't think he'd be
That's
convicted,
cute.
that's a
Hey,
problem.
Jade, word of advice in this
Or the
business.
community
I
challenge
like to
will
give the
look
people
out
that
for
go against me
these
the courtesy of a
covert
warning.
jury
So this is your one warning. I've gone toe-to-toe on the mic and in this room with people who are way better than you. So don't make me embarrass you before your career even starts.
I truly believe they all believe that he did it.
So
And they
Nick
don't
Aldis
care.
comes on now.
If that much people talk about
Hello,
healthcare, if
ladies.
people say it's okay to kill someone on the street, and what they're going to
You
do
should
is
have
they
channeled his
do
inner
so, the
Valvinus.
law be damned, then he will be acquitted because
Jade, if you're as
you killed
confident as you
replacement.
claim
So
to be, and Alexa, if you're looking for a fight as badly as you claim to be, and Barcelona, if you're thinking what I'm thinking, let's stop talking about it and let's start being about it. So Nick Aldis once again proving that he does nothing during the day and he works legitimately on the job here. There's no preparation for this show whatsoever. Jade Cargill versus Alexa Bliss in the opening match on Friday Night
because if they
SmackDown.
say all the right thing, they don't care. You have to wait just to get to it.
Pick it up after the commercial.
because that's gonna be a problem. If you can't get, because
Jade
not just
Cargill is
12,
in
it's just
control.
one, and you can't
Can I
get
tell
into
you how
this.
awful Jade Cargill's selling is? It is awful. If it wasn't funny enough that Jade has to sell for Alexa, who's probably the size of one of her legs, Jade's selling is awful. Seriously. I've seen fucking backyard wrestling sell better than Jade Cargill. She's in control. She's beating up Bliss on the outside. Charlotte and Rhea are looking on. Can't do anything about it. Cargill dropped Bliss onto the apron. She waited a little bit too long to follow up, which led to Bliss hitting her with a drop kick. Bliss then sidesteps a running attack from Jade, which sent her just crushing into the steel steps. We go back in the ring. Bliss makes a babyface comeback. Some typical Bliss strikes to the face, big drop kick, double knees to the back of Cargill's neck, and then followed with a flipping senton and a natural selection of sorts by Miss Bliss. Cargill managed to kick out at a 2 after Alexa made the cover. Bliss set up Cargill for sister Abigail. That was countered. The not-so-baddies and Charlotte and Rhea all brawled to the back. As soon as this went down, we go back in the ring. Bliss headed up top and missed on a twisted Bliss. She was way off on the twisted Bliss. I don't know what. Jade, first of all, was too far away. And then when she came off the top with the twisted Bliss, the camera was just solely on Alexa. So I don't know if Jade actually moved closer to the turnbuckle, but she missed completely and literally was aiming for her legs. That doesn't make a good twisted Bliss. So clearly Jade got somewhat of the knees up. Big pump kick, Jaded, 1, 2, 3, Jade wins. Shocking. With a championship match on Sunday, why would Alexa Bliss be beating Jade Cargill? After the match, Cargill grabbed a chair from underneath the ring, looked to do vicious stings to Alexa Bliss, and another Jaded onto the chair. Charlotte and Rhea ran out a bit too late, as Jade already had delivered the move, and she taunted Rhea Ripley ahead of Sunday's match. Jade won here. If you cycle back to Saturday night's main event, Jade won there too and pinned Rhea. Jade will not be winning on Sunday. Rhea Ripley, and still, your women's WWE champion. It's going to be interesting to see if Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley can duplicate what they did at WrestleMania. To be fair, I'm always hard on Jade because she's just not good. And she's quite nauseating. But she did have a good match with Rhea Ripley, and I did go on record and say it was probably her best WWE match to date. Probably her best match, period, to date. I'm hoping they can duplicate something along those lines on Sunday. You're in there with Rhea. It should be easy to do that. We will see. But Jade is not winning the championship. I would be shocked if Jade Cargill wins the women's championship. Cody Rhodes was interviewed backstage about his match against Gunther on Sunday. Sami Zayn interrupts. Kathy Kelly asked Cody Rhodes how he was feeling after everything that transpired last week with Gunther attacking, and then Sami Zayn allowing it to happen. Cody apologizes to Kathy because Sami Zayn, he walks into frame. Sami says that Cody should start by apologizing. Sami didn't ask for a fight last week. Cody did. And despite everything that's been going on between them, when Gunther got involved during their match last week, he had Cody's back. He was trying to do the right thing. How did Cody repay him? Cody dropped Sami with a crossroads from behind like a knife to his back. Cody, he started yelling at Sami because he thought he was ridiculous with the knife in the back comment. So, Cody did something in the confines of a wrestling match before the bell rang, and he's in the wrong for that. They've been in this situation before, and yet Sami decided to stand there while Gunther was choking Cody out. Sammy wanted to help Cody because that's how he's wired. He says he's the last real good guy around here. Sammy said that the right thing to do was leave Cody there so Cody can learn a lesson. Cody says that after he's done with Gunther tonight, hopefully he can teach Sammy a lesson too. Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes and the interactions between them have been better than the interactions between Cody and Gunther. You might not be a fan of Sami Zayn. You might not be interested in what Sami Zayn is doing on this show. But I think Sami Zayn is probably the best character right now because of how he is, who he thinks he is, and the reactions that he's getting. I think he's probably the most interesting character on the entire brand. That's just me, though. Some people don't like Sami, some people do. I'm in the camp that likes Sami Zayn. I've been one of the OG fans that he talks about, going back to NXT Black and Gold, when he had the buzz cut. Nick Aldis is talking to Danhausen. You are cursed! We are cursed. Have you seen this show Friday night? He has to go check on Alexa Bliss and her medical condition. He apologizes for Danhausen's science experiments that didn't make it through customs, but he had nothing to do with it. Nick Aldis reminds Danhausen that he's here to entertain the WWE Universe and be paid in human monies. He said, go out and entertain and wrestle. We pay you the human monies to do this. Nick tells Danhausen to improvise because he wants to know about where he's going to do his science experiment. Miz joins the conversation. In the background, we see Danhausen with a bunch of equipment that he's moving from one side of the backstage area to the other. Kit Wilson apparently has travel issues. Therefore, Miz wants Nick to cancel his match with Axiom tonight because Kit's not there to learn the Miz method up close and in person. Nick says that Miz sounds a bit concerned about competing without Kit's help. He then reminds Nick Aldis does Miz that he's a two-time Grand Slam champion. Nick tells Miz to prove it because his match with Axiom is up next. The only reason why this match took place is because Axiom is from Spain, and they felt like they needed some sort of genuine excitement on this show, a genuine feel-good moment on this show, because there is no feel-good moments on Friday Night SmackDown. This wasn't as bad as
We're very good 5 minutes. I think we're very, very short in 5 minutes.
Axiom is an excellent team. If only they'd revitalize that tag team division. Pick it up after the commercial break. They were down, both of them were down. Axiom kips up, hit Miz with a really devastating German suplex. Axiom goes up top, he avoids Miz's offense. Skull-crushing finale was countered by Axiom. Miz got Axiom in a DDT for a near fall, though, off of that. Then he delivers the not-so-it kicks, which have been stolen from Bryan Danielson for how many years now? Now they're the yes kicks because Brie Bella is back. So even now they're still not his. It kicks, they were blocked by Axiom. He hits a dragon screw. Axiom got some kicks of his own on Miz. Flying crossbody by Axiom on Miz for a 2 count. So Miz is in the corner with Axiom. He hits his signature clothesline. He missed the big splash. Axiom turns it into a crossface. Miz tried to cover. Miz did not miss with a powerbomb. This was a slingshot powerbomb. Really bad-looking landing by Axiom. The lights start flickering. Now, they did this once in the beginning of the match when the bell rang, and the lights flickered again when Miz was on the top rope looking for the high-risk move. So the lights go out, they come back on, Miz is confused, Axiom's up on the top rope, he delivers a Spanish fly, and then his finisher, which he calls the golden ratio. Axiom gets the win. Miz is still feuding with Danhausen. Can you imagine if Bishop Dyer, Baron Corbin comes back to WWE and he's unveiled as one of Danhausen's scientific experiments and he gets thrown into a feud with the fucking Miz? Can you imagine? We're backstage again with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is talking to Candice LeRae, and Johnny Gargano is still laying there, this time on a stairwell. Candice thinks that Sami's talking to her. Sami says, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to him. And the camera pans over to Johnny Gargano, just laying there. Sami feels like Johnny is one of the few people that understands him. Now, color me crazy, I am morbidly curious about what's going on here. I doubt there's anything because Johnny Gargano's a fucking mime nowadays. He's a goddamn fucking corpse. But I'm morbidly curious about what's going on with Sami Zayn and Johnny Gargano. And if Sami Zayn's going to be the one to kind of bring Johnny Gargano back to life. Is this the plan? Tommaso Ciampa has left WWE and is feuded with Darby Allin, Chris Jericho now as of late, Mark Briscoe, and has been TNT champion for about 2 weeks. And he's teamed with FTR against the Young Bucks. What exactly has Johnny Gargano done in the time that Tommaso Ciampa went over to AEW? Anybody know, chat? Anybody want to fill me in? The only thing that's changed is the color of the production crate that Johnny Gargano is laying on.
What the fuck?
Lamenting how his career has derailed thanks to Triple H or Triple
The best
GPT.
thing for him was on
As we now
NXT.
call
What the
it.
fuck did he do on the main roster?
You give everything you have and you still get disrespected from every angle, he's telling Johnny Gargano. Sami says he can only trust Johnny and his ride or die fans.
Johnny Gargano and Tommaso
Matt
Ciampa.
Cardona comes on
Tommaso
and
Ciampa is doing a lot. He
interrupts
does a
this
lot
love
better
session between Sami
on
and Johnny.
AEW than WWE. Because what did Tommaso
Matt
Ciampa do?
asks
You know, I
Sami
think to
if
remind
he's
everybody,
okay.
I
Sami
think to remind
says,
people,
yeah, everything's fine.
Tommaso Ciampa and Gargano
Matt says that it's
were
like Sami is
called
talking
in
to a wall these
2022.
days.
Ciampa was called up first in April
Sami tells
2022.
Matt to show Johnny Wrestling some
They paired
respect.
with the freaking Miz
Things
and
are not going
Appalachia.
Sami's way.
Not doing
Things have
anything.
not been going
Then
Matt's
got
way
hurt.
since
Then
returning
came
to
back. He
WWE.
left the Miz.
But he's not crying and talking to
And
corpses.
still refused. He's in the
And
mid
he's
column.
certainly not being a
Not
little,
doing anything.
and he stopped
Then they
himself
paired
from
him with
saying little
Gargano. They
bitch.
reunited DIY. And that was it.
And Sami was
Once they
angry.
had DIY,
What are you saying?
they were tag team champions.
What were you going to say to
That was
me?
it.
This level of disrespect from Matt
They
Cardona
just
to Sami
hung out
Zayn.
with Gargano
He
for
can't
a
let
while.
this
You might
stand
have to
anymore,
ask your
Sami.
boys.
He needs to do something about it. He challenges Matt Cardona to a match, and Matt says he's going to go talk to Nick Aldis to make the match official. Again, I'm wondering what Nick Aldis actually does on this show. What does he do during the day? Charlotte Flair is standing in the trainer's room with Alexa Bliss after getting shaded on a steel chair. Rhea Ripley comes in and asks if Bliss is okay. Charlotte says that she's in a lot of pain and she's pissed off. Rhea tells Charlotte that she'll take care of Jade at Clash in Italy. Charlotte tells Rhea that if she can't get the job done, she will, because Jade has a receipt coming her way. Well, by the looks of what we saw tonight, it looks like we may be getting Rhea Ripley and either Jacy Jane or Blake Monroe. And Jade is going to move on to a feud with Charlotte, because that's been a long time coming as well. Again, Rhea is not losing the championship to Jade Cargill on Sunday. Damian Priest and Royce Keys. Tag team match here because, once again, R-Truth is not medically cleared. Some tag team champions we got here. This division that is so healthy and rigorous and bright and competitive. I can't tell you one other fucking team outside Axiom on SmackDown. MFTs don't count. Damian Priest and Royce Keys tag team match here against Tama Tonga and Tola Tonga. I was going to say Tonga Loa. He's released. He's not there with WWE anymore. You would think that they would keep the actual tag team they brought in, but apparently not. Tama Tonga and Tola Tonga. You know, it's amazing how we looked at the Wyatt Six versus the MFTs as the most offensive, deplorable, just downright awful feud of pro wrestling in 2026. Now they move the MFTs on to Damian Priest, R-Truth, and Royce Keys. Now, granted, Royce Keys, Damian Priest, and R-Truth are more entertaining than the Wyatt Six, but I wouldn't say this is necessarily any better. Who asked for this? When are we actually moving on from this? Or is this what you put into the AI generator and it spit out something and it just continues to spit out what they think is the next natural progression of this obviously uninteresting slop? Imagine bringing in Royce Keys and immediately putting him in the MFT's vortex. How not to succeed on the WWE main roster, MFTs. You know, Damian Priest is a former World Heavyweight Champion who won the world title at WrestleMania just a couple of years ago. Now he's in the MFT's vortex and he can't seem to find his way out. Maybe he'll, you know, I watched, speaking of vortexes and tornadoes and hurricanes and natural disasters, Chad, have you watched this movie, Thrash, on Netflix? It's hurricane and whatever. No, I think it was a hurricane. A hurricane or a tornado, whatever it was. I think it was like a Category 6 hurricane. Swept the coastal Florida region, and the dams broke, and the fucking protection around the water broke, and the whole fucking town was flooded, and these AI generated sharks. They were bull sharks. They weren't even like great whites. I was like tricked. I watched this thing thinking it was like killer great whites. It wasn't like Deep Blue Sea or anything with fucking Ice-T, right? Or who was it? Ice Cube? One of them guys. I don't know. I think it was Ice Cube. But bull sharks. The worst fucking movie I've seen all year. And then the one great white was shown at the end of the movie, and apparently this great white had a tracker on it, and it actually helped the humans at the end of the movie, and killed a bull shark that I think was advancing on a woman and her daughter. Or baby, son, daughter, whatever. The worst movie. Oh, was LL Cool J in it? Oh, okay. Was Ice Cube in the movie too, or no? It was just LL Cool J. Another awful movie, Deep Blue Sea. Awful movie. Awful movie. This movie was terrible. I actually regret watching it. I do not recommend it. Thrash. I like my thrash metal. I do not like the movie Thrash. Tola Tonga and Tama Tonga win over Royce Keys. How do you say, JP? How did this happen? Well, Tama Tonga got dropped with a flatliner. Tola Tonga, he got sent out of the ring by Royce Keys. Royce Keys and Tola Tonga are talking trash because he clotheslined over the top rope. Samoan spiked by Solo Sikoa because R-Truth ran out there to even the odds, and the referee's back was turned. And we got a choke slam on Priest by Tola Tonga for the 1, 2, 3.
This isn't about produce. It's about what you produce with it. What's shipped, no order is ordered.
Royce Keys to survive on the main roster, you need to remove him from this MFT's vortex immediately. And if you want Damian Priest and R-Truth to succeed as a tag team, we're going to need to get the revitalization of the tag team division up and going ASAP. All of this is fucking awful. Every bit of it. Chelsea Green tried to talk to Tiffany Stratton. Chelsea Green is without her secret Hervis anymore. I'm glad, because the gimmick was fucking awful. So she runs into Tiffany Stratton in the backstage. Chelsea is glad that they're wearing the same outfits, or similar outfits. Tiffany says that she's not coming down to the ring for Chelsea's match with Nia Jax later tonight. My heart sank into my stomach. I asked myself out loud, Chelsea versus Nia? Why? Who booked this? Did the ChatGPT malfunction? Tiffany is grateful that Chelsea had her back last week, but it doesn't mean that they're friends or business partners. She says it's not that deep.
Who gives a fuck?
Chelsea agrees. She tells Tiffany that she'll see her around.
Gonna have a baby. Bianca is pregnant. Those are two
Miz.
top women. I thought Naomi
He's
was
backstage with
having
Nick
a
Aldis,
great
yelling
heel
at Nick
turn.
Aldis
He had a great
after
heel
what
turn
happened
and
in
a
this
great
match with
heel
Axiom
run.
when the lights going out, not
I
once
think
but
this is my
twice.
first time that she's
He
been a
threatens
heel.
to sue Nick Aldis because of the
If you
hazardous
watching
work
Naomi's
environments
career, she's
that
always been a
Danhausen
babyface.
is
This is the
creating.
first time she's been a heel.
And Nick Aldis enables this, he
And
says.
she's done the best work.
Nick
Best
agrees
way
with The
so
Miz
far, and
and says he's going to get to the
sad
bottom
yet
of this
she's
light
pregnant
issue.
and having a baby.
Miz says that they knew who's
But
messing with
for
the lights.
a while,
Danhausen continues to play mind games with The
same
Miz
thing Bianca.
by
Now
blinding
Bianca
him
was
with
out
a
with injury
fire
for
extinguisher.
over a year because he had
Nick Aldis
he
tried to
had
take
that
a peek under what was
dislocated
on the under the white sheet, and Danhausen again shooed him away. Sami Zayn. He went one-on-one with Matt Cardona. This was actually not that bad. I thought this was probably one of the better things on the show. Matt Cardona cannot get a fucking win to save his life. I genuinely want to know what the fuck they're doing with Matt Cardona. Guy comes back, he's been there for 5 months. He hasn't done a fucking thing. A fucking thing. Ridiculous. You know, it's gonna result, and I pray on everything that I own that what I'm about to say does not happen. But come next WrestleMania season, and we go into that first Friday after WrestleMania 43, and we hear of the budget cuts that will happen, no doubt about it, next year. Matt Cardona is going to be one of those names, and the WWE is going to feel possessed to release Matt Cardona because they need to cut budget. Or maybe they've already asked him to take a pay cut, he's taken a pay cut, and then they'll end up getting rid of him because they don't want to pay him any salary. One of the two. They brought this guy in, and I have to ask why. You do realize that Matt Cardona wanted to be back. Matt Cardona did not need to be back. Matt Cardona did not need WWE. He did not need AEW. He worked his ass off to get back to where he wanted to be, where he felt like he belonged because of the work that he put into his indie run. And his wife works there. Who doesn't want to be with their significant other on the road and working alongside their partner?
Yeah.
5 months.
Well, I want to be back in WWE because that's
You
where I
bring
got
this
started.
guy in and
I mean, I
do
worked my
nothing
ass
with
off
him.
in the Indies,
After this guy was
TNA,
fucking killing it,
and the
making
Indies.
more money than he
It
ever
was fine
has
because
in
WWE is
any
how I
other
got
time
started.
when he was
I
with
started my first
WWE.
career in
He's got
WWE
his
as Zack Ryder.
podcast, he's got his
Zack Ryder
conventions, he's got his
was so
signings,
over and so
he's got his
beloved.
WrestleCons, he's
Yeah,
got
what
his
are you
big
doing with
events,
that?
he's got his indie matches that he was
No,
charging premium
that's not
ticket
Mexican.
to book him.
That's ain't Mexican. Yeah, he's Mexican.
And now he's once again
Yeah, he's
cozy
Mexican.
and
No,
at the
that's
fucking
not what I'm
mercy
saying.
of
Then if that
WWE
never happened, well, of course
GPT.
it does, because the universe wants to see it. I can see if John Cena and Zack
WWE should be
Wiley,
fucking ashamed. But
they
Nick
can go
Khan
to
says,
career.
well, we don't
Yeah,
sign
exactly.
people
They
and
want
just
to get
bench them.
opportunity.
Bro, Matt Cardona is just as good as benched. He's on TV. He wrestles. He hasn't won a fucking match. He's in the middle of nothing. He hasn't won a title. He's not even sniffed a title. He won't sniff a title. He's what they call a upper echelon jobber. And I hate saying that, but that's the fact.
Well, I'd be more
He's a
aggressive
jobber
on
to the
the
stars.
if he was on TV more and defending more.
Why did we bring him in?
Well, I'd be more also.
Why did we sign him?
They really take him kind of win. And
I think if you sign someone like Matt Cardona off all the successes that he's had for the last 6 years,
I'd be
you
more
figured you
impressed
want to
with
use some of
Tyler
that.
if he was on TV and defending it
Apparently
more.
WWE feels
I'm
like
not
they
sure
needed
about the
another
house shows.
fucking
They don't
upper
watch house
echelon
shows.
jobber.
I don't watch the fucking house shows. The only house shows I'm not good. I think he wrestled Sheamus and he made
Derek
Kevin Owens.
Bergstrom.
He made wrestle Sheamus
The
but Kevin
chain
Owens
looked
won these
great
matches.
against the smaller Alexa Bliss.
I'm not,
Give her some
and I do
credit,
count house shows, by the way.
JD.
Sheamus and I have never been in the ring ever.
No.
The only year we've been in WWE.
No.
Even though I
I gave her credit.
Me and Sheamus
WrestleMania weekend.
We never wrestled before.
She's done nothing since.
Even
What credit?
Even house shows.
I deserve a credit for watching this fucking terrible program every fucking week.
Even on the WWE house show, we never wrestled before. It's the first time we ever wrestled on SmackDown.
Jade sucks. She shows signs of getting better, and then it's like 8 steps backwards. Have you watched Jade sell? It's like watching a drunk fucking 21-year-old at Coyote Ugly after fucking 9 PBRs. Moving on. Sami Zayn and Matt Cardona. Good stuff here. Pick it up after the commercial break. Sami Zayn had a chin lock on Matt Cardona. Riveting. Cardona got out of the chin lock, dropped Zayn with a face buster. In the corner, Cardona kicked Sami down with, he knocked Sami down with a big punch. Then he followed up with a broski boot. Zayn gets to his feet. He avoided the Rough Rider. Is that what they're calling it? I thought they called it radio silence, but whatever. Radio silence. Cardona did get Zayn with a double underhook powerbomb. Cardona counters a Sami suplex into a neckbreaker. Radio silence was turned into a powerbomb. Zayn went for haluva kick. Cardona finally nailed the Rough Rider or radio silence on a third attempt. Zayn got his boot on the rope to avoid the 3 count. Cardona then put Zayn on the top turnbuckle. He looked for something high risk. Asks Nick Aldis, I've kind of already alluded to that. I knew because that's exactly what they did last year. Trick Williams is out there with Lil Yachty. Lil Yachty's got this bedazzled kendo stick. I doubt it's real diamonds. It's probably some shit you buy at Claire's or fucking Walmart. Some cheap shit on Amazon that looks like real jewels, real diamonds. So Lil Yachty's out there. We got a Trick Williams entrance.
No, I don't drink enough.
Hi, Peter, the pickleball player from Glasgow. Hi, Diego, the donut dunker from Dorchester.
There, we got a Trick Williams to introduce myself to y'all. Flair for Carmelo Hayes that says, you already said that. Hit and hit Saints with a clothesline. They continued to brawl for a little bit. All of your time striking to see her do a little bit more pro wrestling. And wanted to come back to WWE. This is addictive. And you are just as sick as I am. And at Clash in Italy, you're going to get this close to finding that all the attention you seek desperately, you know it. Don't you dare stand there and lie to me. But you're going to get this close, and you're going to find out the worst thing that a pure wrestler, a sporting wrestler like you could ever find out. And it's pretty simple. You're just not that good, Gunther.
I'm easy to find and hard to beat.
You think I'm a liar, Cody? I promised Bill Goldberg that I would choke him out, and I did. I promised AJ Styles that I would choke him out, and I did. I promised your big role model and hero, John Cena, that I would make him tap out, and he did. And now I'm promising you that on Sunday, I'm going to choke you out. I'm going to drop you like a wet towel, and I'm going to take this precious prize with me. That's the way SmackDown went off the air. No fisticuffs. Nothing. Just words. It's actually the best segment of the entire night. And I think Gunther's going to become the new WWE champion. I think Cody's losing on Sunday. I think Roman is winning. If we get no championships changing hands, I would be shocked. Actually, I wouldn't, because Triple H, I mean, the guy has fucking heart palpitations when he has to think about maybe switching a title or handing a loss to one of his top guys. But I am going with Gunther to win the WWE Championship. I think he wins. I don't see how you beat Gunther. It's like after that, you're just taking everything that John Cena did for Gunther and throwing it away, and you're giving up on all that you tried to tell us earlier in the year. The career killer, the guy that ended John Cena's career, he's going to go on to take that and hold it and possess it like some fucking superpower, and then he's going to win and win and win and then drop it to the next guy who's going to be the next in line to be the face of the company. Like the Undertaker's streak at WrestleMania that Lesnar took. Clash in Italy is on Sunday. It looks like a solid show. The television show, though, if you watch on a weekly basis, you would never know. The television shows are fucking boring. The PLE card in Italy is looking stacked. Thank you guys for showing up on this Friday night. It's not really the most exciting of nights on Friday night. We got 555 likes in. Get those thumbs up in. Super chats are open. Get them on in as well. It's the best way to support the show.
Well, until that time, I'll see y'all later. I can't wait for the pay-per-view on Sunday. I will do my live stream. Till then, see you next time.